We're live on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182. My name is Nanatufo Boate.
And my name is Michael Obodu. Coming up,
Ghana's COVID-19 cases hits 4,263 with 378 recoveries and 22 deaths. Ghana records positive COVID-19 cases in some police cells in Accra, leading to the isolation of suspects.
Some of the inmates have already contracted the disease. So we have separated them. They have been tested. So we have separated them from the fresh suspects who will be coming.
Also in the bulletin, scores of traders and buyers descend on Accra Central Business District in total disregard for social distancing protocol.
I'm very, very scared, but I have to come. I'm here to buy cloth. I'm a seamstress. Since business is not going on.
Lead suspect in the case of an alleged plot to destabilize the country, Dr. Frederick McPalm, finally granted a 10 million Ghana cedi bail with 7 others. And later, we'll tell you how the family of a 12-year-old sexual abuse victim struggles for justice due to their inability to pay 800 cedis for a medical doctor's endorsement of a police form. Well, let's bring you the details of our stories now. Ghana's COVID-19 cases have hit 4,263.
This means the country has reordered 251 more cases since the last update, which stood at 4,012.
Well, the latest information was published on the Ghana Health Service website on Saturday, May 9, 2020.
The death count, according to the GHS, has moved to 22. The recoveries have also increased to 55 with 378 recoveries.
Well, let's move away from that, and it appears the enforcement of the social distancing protocol, one of the foremost methods to prevent the spread of COVID-19, may remain the hardest to enforce in some of Ghana's public spaces.
Despite the rapid increase in Ghana's case count, a visit by Citi News to the Central Business District of Accra on Saturday saw commuters, traders and shoppers in droves transacting business.
Citi News' Kojo Ajimai finds out what authorities are doing to manage the situation within the Accra Business District.
The unusual human and vehicular traffic amid this COVID-19 period caught my attention. The vehicular traffic started from the Glyco intersection on the Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, whilst the human traffic began from the Kingsway building. Most of these people had traveled from different places to the center to transact business amidst a crowd of people.
This is unbelievable. So many people trooping into the Central Business District, breaking the rules of social distancing. Is it a case of panic buying or a case of people just wanting to break the protocols put in place to stop the spread of COVID-19?
I'm very, very scared, but I have to come. I'm here to buy cloth. I'm a seamstress. Since business is not going on, I have one customer, just one, in the whole of 2 months. And that person is scared of coming to the market. So I have to come and buy the cloth and go and sew it for the person. That's why I'm here.
As I was in the car, I was talking with the people that we are talking about the social distance. But when you look up to the people around the system, some are not well in the nose masks. Some are not using the sanitizer. So I was talking with them, and I was afraid. Definitely, I was afraid, as you are saying. It is very serious. The sickness is real. The sickness is real, so people should take it serious.
For some of them, though they are aware that they can easily contract the virus at such places, they have no option because of pressing economic demands.
Social distance in the area for here ba akwa say we hear say a crowd no wa here and then am say yen we ba say you do your shops in mu dia you make sure say you be ma your friends no social distance no.
I came to come and buy I saw materials, so I came to come and buy some of the materials. Yeah.
Why did you choose to do it on this particular day when a lot of people are trooping in there? Are you not scared of COVID-19?
I'm scared, but today is also a market day. So I have to come, and today is because it's market day, you get good ones. So if I stay in the house and come on Monday, I will not get the good ones I want. So that's the reason why I came today.
Police officers were seen on site not necessarily to enforce social distancing, but to enforce the mandatory wearing of face masks.
As you can see, many people are crowded, going to buy food items and other wares they think they need. Now, if you look to my left, traffic building up there. A lot of cars are moving into the business district from other parts of the capital. Now, to my right, more cars are moving into the Kantamanto area or the drag lane area, and you see a lot more people moving in there. So obviously people are going to team up there, breaking the rules of social distancing.
The CMB market was not any different. Traders who were seemingly observing social distancing had to violate the rules due to the influx of shoppers. Some who spoke to Citi News said they are buying ahead of time due to rumors of an imminent lockdown.
I've heard maybe Monday the lockdown will come on again.
Oh, there's a possibility, but we can't tell. You can't tell for now because you need to buy your own things first before it happens, before previously, no. We weren't aware that much. The situation is not that good, but there's no money in the system, so everybody's trying to cope. So the small you have, you need to buy some things and put it down.
Many problems are fine. A bag because you are in the city, they do need it. Social distance was some now. You can't also say, Yajuma. I buy the honor the waka. Yen Nipan, you never say it to us. Yan to us, not a lockdown the bar. Yes, I don't know come.
Traders, shoppers, and passers-by are clearly breaking the social distancing protocol within the commercial centers. So what else can be done to enforce this preventive measure in these spaces?
Education is ongoing. Education is ongoing. You know the nature of the Ghanaian. The police and the metropolitan authorities are still educating the general public as to how to distance themselves when they are at the markets or when they are going to the markets. So we have not neglected that aspect of our responsibility. It's ongoing, even though it is the sole responsibility of the assembly. We also, as police officers and law enforcement officers, are also ensuring that they obey the rules as far as maybe the use of the mask and then social distancing, as you said, are concerned. You saw the size of the market and the number of officers that you are marching with the market. It's a constraint, but I hope gradually we will get there.
The response from the police clearly depicts a state of helplessness. But are people taking any personal initiatives at all to protect themselves from contracting the virus?
I'm being very, as I'm coming from here, I'm not even allowing anybody to come close to me. I am not allowing anybody to come close to me. I'm watching myself very, very carefully. I have my hand sanitizer here.
Yeah, I've been using the sanitizer. Yeah, it's in my bag, so I've been using it. Anytime I remove money from my pockets, I use it.
The minimum say Ghana for your son, Papa. The can I make us a Ghana for your son, the American. Sabi Yaria Bay, Nipa Baby fees be our groby. And can why I say, can you know or Nankasa Nani baby Diano Bungu say, said the uncle for Casa Yari way, and now man say can be get. Apart from that, yeah, Nipa be bringing you. Nipa be bringing and Tinamanabasa.
The advert that they've been doing, they normally make it in English. If they are able to make some of the advert in our local dialect, I can see that they can manage to read.
That is the picture at our central business district at Tamanto, at the CMB Abuja market. This should call for strict measures at our market. Authorities should send men to the markets to enforce social distancing rules. The wearing of face masks is not the only solution to stop the spread of COVID-19, but we need police personnel, security personnel at our markets to ensure the social distancing rule, or else all that we are doing will be counterproductive considering the fact that our numbers are going up. My name is Kojo Atman for Citi News.
Now, the 2 weeks extension of the ban on social gatherings aimed at curtailing the spread of COVID-19 in Ghana expires on Monday, May 11, 2020. Now, prior to the extension, the restriction had existed for 4 weeks. Ahead of the expiration, public opinion is divided on whether or not the ban should be lifted completely or extended further as Ghana's COVID-19 case count crosses over 4,000. With 323 recoveries and 22 deaths, Citi News' Nia Ikweo Kain has been interacting with some Ghanaians on the subject at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra.
The ban on social gatherings was first announced on March 15, 2020 by President Akufo-Addo as part of measures to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19. This was at a time that Ghana had recorded 6 cases of the virus. Now, the ban affected events such as schools, churches, political rallies, conferences, workshops, and other related events. The latest 2 weeks extension was announced on April 26th, and it is expected to end on May 11. But considering the number of figures that we have with the virus, we want to find out from the ordinary Ghanaian if this ban should be extended or lifted.
As for this nose guard like this, a kid can exchange his nose guard with their friend's one. If you understand me, wearing a different one, also wearing a different one. But a kid can say yours is nicer than mine, so let me test it. It can easily happen. So if they will allow them to go to the school, then the teachers, they also have a big responsibility to monitor them because it's dangerous in the way. But for the churches, some of the churches, I mean, they have grown enough and they understand what is the meaning of social distance. So they can arrange themselves to the way that they will not touch each other another. But as for the case there, for me, I'm afraid.
It should be extended.
Why?
Because if you look at how the system is, so although the ban is still on it, so the disease keeps spreading. So definitely they should seriously extend it, so that at least it will help us a little bit.
But personally, what are the things that you've also put in place to ensure that you don't contract the disease?
Oh, like washing of your hands, using the sanitizers, and being careful of whatever you do. That's it.
If President has given the market people chance for them to sell at the market, he has to give the churches true chance for them to worship God. Because I don't think selling markets will, let me say, bring down the issue or anything about the coronavirus. I think we have to pray and we have to go to church too, because it's almost the same. Going to markets and going to church are the same. All we have to do is to follow the instruction we have been given, because how do we call it? Social distance. We have to social distance ourselves from maybe when we are in church. So if the chairs are 3, I think you have to sit in 1-1. So we left the middle one. And if going to market, you have to do the same.
But don't you think it's quite scary looking at the number of figures that we have now, 4,000 and over?
For me, I'm not following the figure because I'm very busy at home. I'm not always on with my phone, but that one day I have no any idea about it.
The figures are still going up. It looks like even though we put a lot of measures in place, it's still going up. So I expect it to be extended, and then the government to do more education and then intensify the use of the mask. I think that we should rather make the mask compulsory and enforce it, and that will also help us to maybe reduce it.
I think it should be extended because we don't know our fate. You and I, we don't know if you have or I have, so I think it should be extended.
But don't you think it's going to affect school activities and church activities?
Like, I'm a student and I'm being affected, but I think it's the best.
So as the ban on social gatherings is expected to end on May 11, some Ghanaians are of the opinion that it should be extended considering the number of figures that the country has recorded. Others also believe that if it would be lifted, then appropriate measures should be put in place to ensure the safety of each and everyone. Reporting from the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, I'm Ni Ayukwe Okain for Citi News.
Now, following a decision by the Obuasi and Obuasi East Municipal Assemblies to shut down 2 major markets in their jurisdictions to allow for a shift system to ensure social distancing, security personnel have been deployed to the Central Business District to ensure compliance. Shops within the Central Business District of Obuasi have been closed as well. Authorities say despite the increasing number of COVID-19 cases in Obuasi, residents are not adhering to the safety protocols. Hence the decision to shut down the markets and shops in the Central Business District.
During the last update from the Ashanti Regional Directorate of the Ghana Health Service, Obuasi had recorded 48 cases, which was the highest in the region. The Municipal Chief Executive for Obuasi, Elijah Dansibona, in an earlier Citi News interview explained that this necessitated their decision to shut down the 2 major markets in the area, Central Markets A and B, over the traders' failure to comply with the social distancing protocol. Per the authorities' directive, all shops within the Central Business District are not supposed to operate until a proper shift system that allows for social distancing is implemented. As part of measures to ensure strict compliance to the directive, from Friday, security personnel were deployed to the Central Business District to prevent traders from engaging in their usual activities. Some traders say they have welcomed the decision, but they want the same measures to be put in place at other smaller markets.
Sisiano, a central market, and Kwana Yatum. Tutuka, Yantum. Kunka market, Yantum. It's many per se, Meton Moko, Meton Yadra, Meton tomatoes. Only buy say Mama Yam, Bano, Nico Massimico Fan, Yamasane Baba, Yen now and sign. It is a Sikunka Yantum, Modia, Mimikunka, Medico Kunka, Aqua Tom. Say Yareno, everyone at home. Nasa Medico Kunka. Me kwa the Koma warm. It's media, Sunyani say in case of say, ya 2 central markets media. And then other markets now, I was say your 2 and to say really develop one a bit develop.
Some residents have commended the authorities for taking the decision as they believe it will help reduce the spread of the virus.
I see that the situation is calm, everything is okay, and it will also help to reduce the rate of the pandemic in Obuasi and also in Ghana as a whole. Even though it is not favoring everybody, I think that this is a good risk to take so that the disease will not spread further.
The measures being put in place to solve this virus for everybody to be safe in the country and to do his personal work. That's what we're hoping for. So I have no problem about this issue.
For the Obuasi Police Commander, DSP Martin Asenso, who has been leading his team of officers to enforce the directive, the decision to close the two markets is primarily due to the increase in community infections.
And Obuasi, I may say, in Ashanti region, the second town or the district where the disease was recorded at 1. So from 1 it came to 2. About a week ago, just after, then he raised to 10. As I'm speaking today, it has risen to 98. 4 days ago, the committee met and they decided to see where the disease is coming from. And then they have directories, or the doctors inform the committee that when they do the contact tracing, they realize that none of the cases are coming from outside of us. They are all the local people who have never traveled before. And that when they do the tracing, they realize that it is coming from the central market. They all pointed, I went to central market, I went to central market. So by the wisdom of the committee, they decided to close down the central market and make some certain measures to cope or to reduce the spread of the disease.
Well, you're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. When we come back, lead suspect in an alleged plot to destabilize the country, Dr. Frederick McPalm, finally granted a 10 million Ghana cedi bail with 7 others.
We'll bring you details of that story and more. Please do stay with us.
Extra data, extra minutes, and extra unlimited calls. Not just that, even our extra data doesn't expire. If you fill up, simply dial *111# to bundle now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Imagine if you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subjects you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks, and tune in to Class Act only on Citi TV.
You're welcome back. Let's bring you some more stories. The coronavirus disease has spread to some police cells in Accra, leaving some suspects infected. The Accra Regional Police Command, which made this known, could not state the exact number of infections, but says the affected persons have been isolated. Ghana's case count now stands at 4,000 plus, with 323 recoveries and 22 deaths. Speaking to journalists during a disinfection exercise by waste management company Zoomlion, the Accra Regional Police Commander, DCOP Fred Eduanim, said efforts are being made to contain the spread. Citi News' Kojo Ajimai reports.
This is the fourth time the Accra Regional Police Command headquarters, located within the Central Business District of Accra and established in 1952, is embarking on such a disinfection exercise. Quadrangles, offices, cells, barracks, and shops at the facility were disinfected. The head of corporate communications of the Jospon Group of companies, owners of Zoomlion, Sophia Lissa, spoke about the nationwide police installations disinfection exercise.
Greater Accra region has 14 divisions. This is one of them. And today, all the divisions are undertaking this cleanup exercise. But then the disinfection is happening just at this center, where we have 2 cells, the striking force, some barracks, and some charge offices. That is being done for today. But then the other areas will be scheduled for next week, where all the other divisions within Greater Accra will be catered for. And as we're talking, the police colleges, training colleges are also being disinfected.
The disinfection exercise is to primarily reduce the spread of COVID-19 at police installations across the country. So far, the National Police Training School and other installations have been disinfected. The Accra Regional Police Headquarters, together with some police stations, were disinfected on Saturday. The Accra Regional Police Commander, DCOP Fred Eduanim, who outlined the importance of the exercise, said his outfit has had to isolate some suspects who have contracted the coronavirus.
Some of the inmates have already contracted the disease. So we have separated them. They have been tested, so we have separated them from the fresh suspects who will be coming, or who will come into our custody. And for presently, you can see from here, the van that is parked there contains some of them. They are the hardened criminals that we have. So we need to keep them under proper custody, because they might escape if proper arrangement is not made for their security.
To stop the spread of COVID-19 at our cells, the Accra Regional Police Command has isolated some inmates. They say this will possibly avert any catastrophe. My name is Kojo Ajimai, reporting for Citi News.
Meanwhile, medical personnel of the police hospital in Accra have commenced a nationwide exercise to collect the samples of police officers for COVID-19 testing. This comes after the Inspector General of Police, James Opombuenu, directed that the over 8,000 police officers deployed during the partial lockdown should undergo testing. A medical practitioner with the disease control unit of the police hospital, ASP Emmanuel Baba Asabila, spoke about the mass sample taken and testing.
We have been sent out as part of our mandate to make sure that we bring care to the police properly. And this time around, we are here to test as many police personnel as possible as to whether they have come to contact with persons who are positive for COVID-19 or not. And as such, during the lockdown, we believe that so many of us might have been infected or otherwise, which we pray is not the case. But in order to know whether we are or not, we've come out to find out whether we are. So we are testing all those who, because of their official duties, came to contact with COVID-19 suspected cases and confirmed ones as well, to make sure that we are able to afford them the care that they require. So we are moving from station to station, district to district, division to division, to ensure that we give them the care they deserve.
Now, the New Drabane South Municipal Public Health Emergency Management Committee has banned the activities of commercial tricycle operators at Koforidua in the Eastern Region for 2 weeks. The ban, which will commence on Monday, is part of measures to curtail the spread of COVID-19, as compliance to social distancing has become a major challenge for city authorities. Citi News' Neil Ni Amate Kanaku reports that operators and patrons of the Tricycle say the decision will have a negative impact on them.
Although the use of tricycles or motorbikes, otherwise known as Okada, for commercial purposes is illegal in Ghana, the practice has gradually been accepted in some parts of the country. Patrons of these commercial tricycles, popularly known as Pragia and Koforidia, will now have to rely on other means of transport from Monday to move within the municipality. The riders of these tricycles cannot operate for 2 weeks per the directives of the Municipal Assembly. The decision became necessary because the riders had failed to observe the social distancing protocols despite several directives from the Assembly to curtail the spread of COVID-19. Isaac Apaujesi is the Municipal Chief Executive for New Durban South.
And we agreed that starting from next week, we are going to shut down the services of the Pragia to enforce the social distancing concept. And so far, some of them have been practicing it, others have not. And that is the reason why we have decided to shut them down for 2 weeks, whilst we use that period to sensitize them the more. They have understood. We are going to stick to it and push so that they will go by that directive.
21-year-old Hali Abdul Majid and Agom Christopher are Pragia riders who migrated from the northern region a year ago to make a living here. They are worried about the economic impact of the temporary suspension on their livelihoods.
We are the drivers here, but we don't have our own machines. We work under some people. So through that, we also can get something to do our own things. Even some of us cannot get even a food if it doesn't work. If we burn up to 2 weeks, what are we going to do? We are going to suffer. It will be easier for us, frankly speaking. And we don't know how they. For me, personally, I came all the way from Northern region. Yes. And then if they what
the Eastern region has so far recorded 96 positive cases out of the national case count of 4,012. Lower Manyakrobo has 70 cases. Esojaman has 12. Fantiakwa North 6 cases. Akuapem North 3. Then Chambua 2. Prim Central 2. And Lower West Akem 1. In view of this, MMDAs in the region have started instituting pragmatic steps to curtail the spread of the disease. But some patrons of the commercial tricycles do not agree entirely with the temporary ban.
For me, since for the Okada, it's going to worry too much because sometimes you don't get taxis in my area for Zungo there. So there's the Praga, even the evening, you get time. Around 2 o'clock, you get time. But so when it's still, I think it's not the
yes. Because the price of taxi is not the same as the Praga. And then number 2, this pandemic, joining the Praga is simpler than joining taxi. The taxi is more risky because you open the door, close it yourself before sitting down. You see, but with this, you can simply join without holding anything, so it will affect.
Traders who rely on these tricycles to cut their goods are also worried about the impact of the temporary ban on their business. The chairman of the Zongo Ada station, Awudu Bada, wants the assembly to fish out recalcitrant riders and punish them instead of a blanket ban on all riders.
loading them two. You see, but we have some floating drivers. That floating, they are not entering our station here. So some of them are picking the 3 and then 4. So that's why I say, chief executive, for our station here, we are always. But if you stand up his guard, for town, if they come, if they arrest somebody, we, the executive, we allow the chief executive and the guys to deal with that person.
Operators and patrons of Pragia want the New Japan South authorities to streamline their operations instead of placing a ban.
An Accra High Court has granted a 10 million Ghana cedi bail with 2 sureties, each to be justified, to 8 persons out of the 10 accused of treason over an alleged plot to destabilize the country.
They are the lead suspect, Dr. Frederick Yao McPalm, who is the CEO of the Citadel Hospital, Daniel Kafri alias Ezo, a blacksmith, Bryce Alan Deborah, Colonel Samuel Kojo Gameli, Corporal Seidu Abubakar, and Lance Corporal Sylvester Akampewu and Johannes Zikpi with the signal unit of the Ghana Armed Forces.
The 8 are to report to the Bureau of National Investigations BNI twice a week and also deposit their passports with the court's registry.
It was the first time all the accused persons have appeared before the court presided over by Justice Samoke Asiedu, an appeals court judge, sitting as an additional high court judge after the committal proceedings on March 3, 2020.
Now already an assistant commissioner of police, Benjamin Agojo, one of the suspects, has been granted self-recognizance bail of 500,000 Ghana cedis also by a high court, whilst warrant officer class 2 Esther San has also been granted bail by another high court.
Now, the newly installed Mantse King Dr. Taki Teiko Chulu II has promised to bring unity to Ga Adangbe.
But this, he says, will restore the state to its rightful place in Ghana. He was speaking at his induction ceremony into the Ga Traditional Council, from where Citi News' Ni Ama reports.
The Ga state has been in turmoil even before 2013, when the then Ga Mantse, King Taki Taria III, passed away. It is on record that there have been multiple claimants to the stool. Although Dr. Kevin Taki, whose stool name is King Dr. Taki Teiko Chulu II, was installed in October 2017 as the new king of the Gas, that did not settle the matter. Some factions within the state still supported King Taki Adamalache II, known in private life as George Taki Abian, as Ga Mantse, saying he was legitimately elected to the stool in 2011. Following the agitations, a 13-member fact-finding and advisory committee was inaugurated in May 2018 to look into the chieftaincy matters of the Gadambi state for a lasting peace. The committee, originally chaired by the late VCRAC Crab, after its work declared Dr. Ni Tetekwe II as the recognized and appropriate principal kingmaker to the Paramount stool and approved his choice of King Dr. Takite Chulu II as the legitimate Ga Mantse.
Basically, he was installed by the Ga Paramount Jasiche, who has been declared the legitimate Jasiche. So we found out that definitely King Takite Chulu II is the legitimate chief. So we made that recommendation. We forwarded it to the Jase and the Jasiche, and they had to go through the processes to do what they had to do for the final installation rites. And the final installation rites, as you know, were done on the 21st of March 2020 at the Ga Paramount Stool Room. The King Takite Chulu was crowned with the Adwa Fai. You saw the Adwa crown he's wearing today. That's his symbol of authority. Once you have crowned him as king, it's sealed. And he also received the oath of allegiance and fidelity from the people as is required. And he also gave the oath of allegiance and fidelity as required. So really, at that date, he was fully fledged Ga Mantse.
The work of the committee culminated into Saturday's induction of King Dr. Takite Chulu II as the head of the Ga Traditional Council, solidifying his place as Ga Mantse. He pledged to serve his people at the ceremony and also called on his subjects to observe the coronavirus safety protocols.
Eton wahi. Ni oya no nye ni ake ohinye lo. Ega. Enye ni ehi boni wata wole. Sijabeni wafe kume. Dani abafe kume. Besani shishinumo aba. Impa nye no yeli simpa nye somomo. Akeshi wo bacha ya ni wo bole kutu ni wo pe. Ni wo to kan gbejano eko. Ni wo yino ne. Efe soro pra. Osumo ni beni hira ne ba ke efa pra ne te ne je wo saten. Wona wo ni bo. Iwo nye ba moden. Gbejano to ni amralo ke function.
On his part, the principal kingmaker in Ganjasiche, Dr. Ni Tetekui II, said the Garmanche's installation will foster development for Gadangbe youth.
We'll change Gadangbe state and we'll bring some sort of respect to ourselves. We're thinking about the children somewhere that go home, English, and elsewhere. Do we educate our children and then leave them? Posterity will judge us rightly if we ignored the children of today. The assurance of our government is that education will be paramount to all of us.
After several years, the matter has been settled. Hopefully, the induction of Ni Taki Te Kuchu II as the legitimate Ga Manche will bring some unity to the state. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ni Ama.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Ahead in the bulletin, we'll tell you about how the family of a 12-year-old girl and sexual abuse victim struggles for justice due to their inability to pay 800 cedis for a medical doctor's endorsement of a police form.
Details when we return. Do stay with us.
Imagine if you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subjects you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks and tune in to Class Act, only on Citi TV.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a news search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
Welcome back to the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Now to more stories. It appears the practice in Ghana where victims of sexual abuse are compelled to pay for the endorsement of police forms by medical doctors may not end anytime soon. The family of a 12-year-old girl allegedly defiled in Tamale in the northern region fears they may not get justice if they are unable to access to raise 800 cedis for a medical doctor at the Tamale Teaching Hospital to endorse the police form. This is regardless of the family's claim that the medical examination has confirmed the act. Citi News' Max Osuk has the rest of the story.
The 12-year-old victim of alleged sexual abuse who lives with her parents at Vitin in Tamale now struggles to walk after the incident. She came out of their room almost unable to talk. With permission from her parents, the minor explained to Citi News how she was lured by her abuser. So why didn't you tell your parents when you came back? The man who allegedly defiled her is called Abdul Latif, popularly known as AA in the Vitin neighborhood, but he is yet to be arrested. The girl's mother, Zuera Rahman, tells Citi News she is helpless. A medical doctor at the Tamale Teaching Hospital indicated in the victim's folder that there was forced penetration causing internal damage as a result, but demanded for the 800 cedis before the form could be endorsed, an amount the poor family cannot afford. Zuera is now appealing to benevolent Ghanaians to come to her daughter's aid to help them seek justice. It is reported that 14% of girls in Ghana experience sexual violence, but the figure is likely to be more as some families, for various reasons, shelve these cases. Many offenders are mostly close associates, just like this one. Residents here say they were surprised about the conduct of the alleged offender in this case. So, Bima didn't know Lala, the minimum be yelling as someone town come Jimo Jalan Sanchi. Bumi Garcia Cabjani, Kalalana Chimblema Gataka Zamdaba, Hello Kanatu and Zan with Zamba. So, Mambami Nala Chimblema Hankalnutu Kanako Nangalabane. The Domestic Violence and Victims Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service said they cannot offer any help to the family without the endorsed form.
Moving on, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, says over 44 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to streamline operations as part of measures to provide stable power supply to customers in the Ashanti region. This will include replacement of obsolete transformers, cables, and construction of additional substations. Managing Director of the company is hopeful power supply will improve after these interventions. Citi News' Hafiz Tijani has the rest of the story.
Inhabitants in parts of the Ashanti region have recently complained about unstable power supply to their homes and places of business after the situation persisted in some areas. In the beginning of this year, angry customers either resorted to social or traditional media to vent their frustration. The power distribution company ECG dispelled assertions that the country was going back to its dreaded days, which was christened Dumso. Although there has been significant improvement in power supply in the region, authorities of the company have outlined measures to make boost supply. Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Kwame Ajiman Budu, spoke about some interventions.
To mitigate all these challenges, in our area here in Ashanti region,
we are trying to construct a primary substation at the Agogo area, which will link Konongo, Agogo, and Juso together, so that we have a stable service. On that note, we are spending about 15 million Ghana cedis to reinforce the system or our network. In the medium term, we try to pump in 29.5 million cedis also to strengthen the network to make sure we have a reliable and stable service. We've also found out how and why all these are always prevail. We come to realize that there are some old transformers that need to be changed, cables, relays, reclosures, sectionalizers, and all other things. To mitigate this, we try as much as possible to replace most of them. Especially the jumper card is something that is frequently hurting us.
The Ashanti Strategic Business Unit has a customer population of 949,435, with a total of 5,421 distribution transformers. The unit says it is undertaking some projects to ensure reliability, power delivery, and safety in the region. Despite these interventions, authorities are still worried about power theft issues.
We've also come to realize that during illegal connections, our people, some of us trying to steal power from us, make our transformers overloaded. In our system, we know how many people are on each transformer, but for somebody doing illegal, will be on the blind side of us, so it will overload the transformers, and many times the overload transformer trip the feeder and causing outages. We are trying to mitigate all this. We are also putting in place a mechanism whereby fault detectors are easy. In our current situation, to detect fault is like try and error. We don't have a system whereby it can pinpoint the exact location, especially when it comes to an underground cable. Even though we have a test van, the test van has to go to trial before it identifies. But we are trying to implement a new system called VIT, whereby you can sectionalize a portion of where the fault is. Instead of the whole line going off, you can sectionalize the portion and just close the other end so that the other people on the other end can get service. We have put measures in place to make sure the service is stable and consistent.
Ghana's lead waste management firm, Zoom Lion, says it will continue to support the Sunyani Municipal Assembly in the Bunu region to ensure that the town remains one of the cleanest regional capitals in the country. The company gave the assurance during one of its cleanup exercises organized in Sunyani. Citi News' Michael Sapon Inform reports.
Sunyani is arguably one of the cleanest regional capitals in Ghana. In 2007, the town was named the cleanest city in Ghana by the then Ghana Tourism Board, now the Ghana Tourism Authority. But with the increasing population and urbanization, the city is gradually losing this status. Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, in its quest to ensure that Sunyani continues to remain one of the cleanest cities in Ghana, organized one of its cleanup exercises in the town. Esther Bayate, a Zoom Lion's general manager for the Bunu East and Half regions.
We have realized that the population is increasing each and every day, and if we do not take time, a time will come that filth will engulf us. So as the population increases, it comes with its negative activities or effects in the municipal in which we are. The attitude of people nowadays, we can't talk of communal labor. People don't care about how they even dispose of their waste. They dispose it into the drains, as you can see. When we were desalting the drains, you can see the amount of waste that is in these drains. So that is the reason why today we are here, to ensure that we desalt the drains, we clean the city to ensure that Sunyani maintains its beauty.
The Sunyani Municipal Environmental Health Officer, Daniel Owusu Koko, bemoaned the attitude of some residents who prefer to litter instead of using waste bins, placed the advantage points in the municipality.
You know, sometimes the people in the communities, especially the women, you know, in our setup, is the women who dispose of refuse, their waste in the households. But they will send their children, sometimes some of them are even below 15 years. And when the children go, they cannot climb the steps and they cannot get access to the container. The adults must go there themselves. They should not allow the children to go and dispose of refuse. In the same way, some people also, they put the refuse, they dump them in the drains, especially when it is about raining. You plead with them that they should have an attitudinal change.
The municipal chief executive for Sunyani, Desina Usu Banahine, who took the opportunity to observe adherence to social distancing at the Sunyani Old Market, also spoke to Citi News.
Looking at the environment, I think I have to give them a clap. We have to motivate them. Because we've gone around almost this main market, and you can see that everybody is ready, putting the place in order, especially the women who sells meat and fish. And I think that if everybody will also participate in this way, then I think we won't have a cause to worry. And they understand the importance of hygiene and self-cleanliness. And therefore, I think that it should serve as a motivation, and they should serve as a role model to all the other sellers. Then again, even to other markets in our environment. And therefore, I think that they deserve a praise. They are worth praising. You know, human beings, we are like a plantain in the fire. If you don't turn it around, definitely one part will get burned. It means that you don't have holistic food in your mouth. And therefore, we'll keep on educating the populace. But if you look at Sunyani environment, you could see that people are ready to wear or put on their masks. And some of them also observe the social distancing. However, there's more room for improvement. And there are a few people who will buy the masks all right, but you see that they will pull it under their jaw. And even doing that alone also even contaminate the masks. So I think we will advise them and educate them.
Well, that's it for this edition of the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more information on our top stories and more.
Do subscribe to CitiTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV.
Download the Citi Newsroom app from the Google Play Store or the App Store and keep updated on the go.
You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182.
My name is Obuasi.
And I'm Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.